The Waitress by Jack Zipes. She never knew how it had happened, but there was once a chair stuck on the back of a waitress. She jiggled, she jumped, she bucked, and she kicked her heels like a wild horse in a rodeo show. But nothing she did could help poor Marie get the chair off her back. She went to the best doctors, carpenters, detectives, midwives, and plumbers in all of Paris, but nobody could help her. The chair stuck on her back, and everyone was afraid of tearing it off her back because she might die. After all, Marie was a small young woman, somewhat on the skinny side. You might even call her frail or fragile. Perhaps that was because she was always running from table to table in the restaurant where she worked. Perhaps it was because she never had time to eat a good meal. Marie never thought about it, she just worked as hard as she could. At first Marie thought she looked like a humpback, and she was ashamed of her chair, but the chair was as light as a feather. Maybe something good will come of this, Marie said to herself. Maybe if you dress me up you might learn a thing or two, the chair said to her. You can talk? Marie said with astonishment. You can walk, the chair said. Of course I can, the waitress said. Anyone can. Hey, that's not true. Not anyone can. There are a lot of people who can't walk. What about babies? What about people who have accidents? What about people who are born differently? All right, Marie said. I get your point. Well, if you get my point, the chair said, keep me dressed and do something about it. What would you like to wear? Something with frills, and I like colours like aqua blue, jasmine green, fire red and chartreuse. Are you a girl? Does it matter? Marie said it didn't, and off she went with the chair on her back to the nearest department store. People didn't seem to mind that she had a chair on her back, and Marie found that strange. Can they see you? She asked the chair. People see only what they want to see, the chair replied. Off went Marie with the chair. This time they went to visit Liliane, who had been the brightest student in her class. But she had been hit by a car and had lost the use of one of her legs and refused to go to school anymore. Her mother tried everything from bribes to psychologists, but Liliane refused to move from her room. When Marie knocked, the door opened, and Liliane's mother showed her to her daughter's room. Mademoiselle Liliane, Marie said, we've come to invite you to lunch. Liliane's eyes opened wide when she saw Marie with a chair stuck on her back, and she giggled. In fact, she continued to giggle when she jumped into the chair and sped to Marcel's restaurant. He had set up a special banquet room for his guests, and he cooked the most delicious specialities of the house. There was laughter and chatter. Almost all the people knew each other somewhat, but they were discovering that they had so much in common that they made plans to do things with each other. They kept toasting Marcel and praising his cooking. There's nothing like French cooking, they cried. And Marcel replied, it's all on the house, you are my guests forever. The next day, Marie and her chair did not arrive at the restaurant, nor did they go knocking on people's doors. Nevertheless, all the people managed to show up at Marcel's restaurant, and they enjoyed themselves and kept meeting until the end of their days. As for Marie and her chair, it is difficult to remember what happened to them. Some say they never existed, but I for one don't believe them.